It's day one, but I can tell you categorically that the delegates are arriving in numbers. The FCT is about to really host what we've never seen before. That's why it's the NES 30. But I'm not alone. This very morning, I'm joined by a member, NES 30, Technical Subcommittee Chairperson, also of the NBA and SBL. I'd like to welcome joining me, Miss Ozofu Ogiemuda. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Great. We're looking at topics that would center around development. We've seen innovations. We've seen so many things. But let me quickly ask you this. People are actually most touted to be very important, very important resource in every single society. Can you tell us what strategies we are looking forward to hear and get, especially as we gather today, when it looks at resourcefulness of people?
Yeah, so thank you very much. As we know, Africa as a continent is the youngest continent in terms of average age of people, and Nigeria in particular as well is a young country because more than 60% of our population is youthful, below 25 years of age. So some of the things we'll be thinking about are how we engage the youthful population, empowering them, leveraging on innovation, because the current innovative times we're in are such that even without formal education, people can still make a living, and we see it. We see how the use of technology can be leveraged to create content, has created jobs that didn't exist before, and has also opened up markets beyond the traditional means. So even in the village, as far as you have a phone, you can transact business. So some of the things we're doing, for instance, I just came out of the session on regulation for the electronic consent, and it was really about how we can, by using the right regulations, and a good example I highlighted was telecoms, and how by regulation the telecom sector was opened up, and so how we can use regulation to open up the market for private sector investment. I think part of the rhetoric around the NES Summit is, if the environment is right, the private sector is the catalyst that will drive innovation and growth for the economy. It's not really for the government to do it. It's just to set the environment. And I think also from our young people, we can see this. And I think that's what led to the growth that we've seen in sports, entertainment, media. Those are the things that appeal to young people these days. So, I know there's been some talk around the government and what they want to do in that space, but I think that just creating the right environment and having the right regulatory mindset, where the government is a partner of the private sector, not the dictator, where you have that mindset, then I think it will encourage both local and foreign investment into this space to create the economy that the young people need to thrive.
All right. In the course of the conversation in the morning, we did hear where a lot of mentions about good leadership, which can also drive economic development. This has been said. We heard from persons have talked about if the head is good, of course, ordinarily you expect that the body should equally be good. What specific qualities do you think that our leaders or leaders today, be it in the private sector, be it in the government parastatals, what do you think these characteristics that are needed? What characteristics do you think are needed, especially today?
I think, for me personally, I think the most important is a servant's mindset. If you believe that you are in a leadership position to serve, it just dictates how you behave and how you think. So what you're trying to do is, what is this office for? And how can I use this office to serve whoever it is you're serving? So if it's a company and you're the CEO, how do I, as the CEO, drive innovation and change, encourage and build my team? There's something that, I've heard said, it's true in every country, but I've heard it said about Nigeria, which is, we have the leaders we deserve. Like, the people are not behaving better. We are the ones throwing filth on the street, right? So we deserve the leaders. But I think it's actually two-pronged. I don't know that the economy can grow if everybody is well behaved and the leaders are not. And there is something about leadership. Signaling comes from the top. So I think it's both ways. So I think that if leaders have that mindset of service, then it will change how things are done in Nigeria. I think if we just fix that, then also leadership generally by its nature, it's a continuum. It's not one person. So when you're sure that you're there for a time, I'm here for 4 years, I'm here for 10 years, whatever your tenure, then you know that there's an end to it. And you're thinking of, how do I leave things better than I met them? How do I build the team so that they continue without me? So it takes a lot of focus off you as the person and focus on the objective, the project, the thing we're working on. So I guess it depends on how willing people are, because it does mean you put yourself aside, you put your pride aside, you forget yourself. But if you do that, I think that you will build a legacy and a name that you cannot get by holding on to it.
I'm sure you're speaking to many of us, most importantly, and also to some of the leaders who are equally paying attention and watching. Finally, I know because we're pressed for time, and we'd like to get your opinion and your view, most importantly. What are we expecting today, starting off day one, NES 30? What are expectations?
Thank you. So for day one, we've started off with community events, what we call them, because the NESG has communities of practice. And so we have, for instance, I was in the NS Legislative Center. So the communities are having some events on their focus on their subject areas. After that, we're going to have some design workshops on healthcare, local manufacturing of medicines, for instance, digital transformation, and some other things like that. And then we go to the highlight of today, which is the opening ceremony. We're expecting His Excellency the Vice President to grace that occasion to open the summit for us, and then we're going to have a very leading private sector and public sector minds on our first plenary for the day. We have a dinner in the evening.
That's good.
And then we have a huge lineup tomorrow. We have Jamie Dimon tomorrow, which is JP Morgan CEO. So there's a lot to look forward to. We have the Minister of Finance as well, the Coordinating Minister for the Economy tomorrow. So we're very excited, really excited. We have the right minds in the room. We expect that a lot will come out of this summit.
I'm sure a lot would truly come out. I mean, we're equally excited. It's day one already, and we cannot wait to see what the day would look like. Thank you so much, Mr. Ogiemuda, for joining us. All right.